Oh, that's because I started the game. I was going to say it's asking me to load a game. Hang on a minute. No, it's because I've already started the game. Yeah, was someone when you get the link on YouTube, if you can paste that.
I got it for Steam. Or I'm on it.
I'm on it like a car bonnet. Also, if I don't know if anyone's got Facebook, Twitter, or anything like that. I don't really want to click out the screen because then you start getting the flashy thing.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to make sure that you can hear my voice. I'm going to eat my microphone so you can make sure you can hear me. I'm going to turn my microphone.
You can also turn us down as well. That might help.
Yeah, Ryan, don't be shy to jack your mic up as much as you can.
Here you go, chaps. Here's the link.
Just going to pour myself another coffee before we get started. Turn the light on. It's a bit dark.
Just be a little careful not to breathe into your mic too much.
Is that what I'm doing?
A little bit, yeah. Sort of hear your breath.
Right, okay. Pouring coffee. I haven't got the stream up just to make sure that I get the best sort of bit rate and stuff like that. I don't know. Do they do a thing where you can just have? Oh, I could do it on my phone, couldn't I? Oh, that's a good point. I'll do it on my phone.
I'll tell you what, the quality of me watching you stream and then me watching through YouTube is a heck of a lot better than like a Discord screen share.
Really?
You can actually see the lighting changes now.
Yeah.
It's quite pretty.
Oh, yeah, Jaws of Extinction, live, right. Hang on, turn the volume down. I don't want to be hearing that. Hi, Henry!
Hello!
Hey, Henry!
I will put that there so I can see people talk. Right, I am ready. We'll just give it sort of like 5-10 minutes for people to come in, but we'll talk amongst ourselves. Hello everyone that is here so far.
Hope everyone's doing well.
That person obviously wasn't.
Nope. Everyone runs for the hills.
I was thinking a lot about the focus mode the other day, especially when I was watching, because that day's gone. I've got focus mode as well, haven't they? Or they call it survival vision.
Ah, okay.
Um,
How's that look compared to ours?
This is Sheriff
Totally
Zed of the
different.
Eden Adair Police
Right.
Department.
Okay.
Sen, not today. But yeah, ours is more. I was thinking about having with the survival visions to actually sort of like have items glow as well. I know we've got like the icon thing and stuff like that, but actually have items glow, and also eventually sort of, because you'll be able to sort of like upgrade your vision, your focus modes with skills and stuff like that. Is that you'll be able to then see enemies and stuff like that on the outside of buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have the old Eda. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Some of this stuff out, so I'm all prepared, ready to get hammered.
First look at the the camera change.
Yeah.
Another 2 minutes.
Yeah. New grass is really nice as well. I do like
I do like it
the
as
new
well.
grass. Looks nice from a distance. Till you get up close.
Yeah, that patch is a little bare.
Yeah. That patch is nice right over there. I forgot to mention in the patch notes I moved this crate out of the rock.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah, I'm joking.
I tried
mate.
that.
I'm joking. You have to add that. Moved a crate from a rock.
No, it's going in.
It's funny stuff.
Just junk.
Just junk. I'm wondering if I can put that on the side and still see the chat. Oh, I can. Excellent.
Perfect.
Perfecto. Perfecto mundo. I need something to hold my phone up.
Person.
Yeah. Tash! Come and hold my phone for me. I wonder if Alexa will do it. Alexa, Alexa, hold my phone.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah, laziness.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Alright. Okay.
Are we
All
holding
right,
off
then.
until 8:30? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just giving
Oh.
everyone
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of time to get in and stuff like that. So, yeah, if you want to talk amongst yourselves or, about anything, or if anyone wants to start talking about anything in general.
Well, they found that three-eyed snake on Australia.
What?
Yeah, we were talking about that a moment ago.
Chris put a picture in Discord.
A three-eyed snake.
Yeah, so it's got probably 3 eyes and all.
It's just got one in its forehead, like the what's it called? Nope, it's gone. I don't know.
Okay, I'm confused what you could possibly be comparing it against.
There's a god with an eye in its forehead. I can't remember which one.
Oh.
What are
Oh, it's in
Good one.
Hinduism.
Go on.
The
Well,
third
hold
When I
on.
one.
was played
Yeah.
Thief and knows the trickster from that, then that's what it made me think of.
But it'd be cool if they did name a furniture after Henry. Like De La Rosa couches or something. It could have happened.
Anything's possible.
Or an NPC.
Yeah.
NPC in a furniture shop.
We'll have to ask him. What would you like to have named after you, Henry?
I don't
If
think he's
it's
joking.
not furniture,
Henry.
I'll be disappointed.
Now's your chance.
This is a one-time offer.
Take it.
That's very kind of you. Could be a wanderer. What, the De La Rosa?
Wonder. You mean
That's
like
cool,
one of the
Henry.
7 wonders
You
of the
can take
world?
your time. If anything, Henry can always PM me and I can,
Yeah.
or
Right,
he can PM.
The Colossus of Rhodes, maybe offshore, modelled after after Henry.
well, there's one thing that we need to start doing soon as well, is sort of naming streets and stuff like that. So
Mm.
we can have De La Rosa Avenue. Right, I'm
The
gonna
Rhoda.
I'm gonna start making my way into Yi Town ahead, because otherwise we're gonna start losing daylight.
Yeah.
So
Burning time.
it looks like it's good.
Oh yeah, so you overhauled the daylight and nighttime system, correct?
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
all the lighting completely. It's as you are now about to see, is the lighting sort of like goes to sunset. I'm assuming the sunset. It's definitely not rising.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's.
I thought it
So
said,
yeah, this This patch has had complete overhaul of the lighting. So originally the lighting was a bit kind of
Flashy rooms.
the lighting was a bit kind of bland in a way. It didn't really have much depth, and this new lighting is supposed to give quite a bit more depth and a lot more atmosphere at different times of day. So midday and nighttime feel very, very different, and even like sunrise, sunset, they all have their very different atmospheres, different colours, and it all sort of looks and everything sort of looks deep and rich, and that's the plan. And I think we're all really happy with how it's looking. There's a really nice a diagram that Ryan made. Well, not a diagram, like a little visual, which compares times of day with the original lighting and the new lighting. And it's really nice to be able to compare the two. You can see it really does make a world of difference.
Yeah, to what it was before and what it is now, kind of thing.
Yeah. Looks a lot
But
cleaner.
I might end up putting that on social media and in our Discord for
Yeah, I think that'd be great to show off.
people to have a look at.
Definitely.
Now might be a good time to jump in with the animation stuff you guys been doing.
Yes.
Yeah, let's start talking about the bigger stuff. So yeah, did you want to talk about that, Ryan?
Yes. Yeah, I can do. Right. So we were well aware that the placeholder. Oh, we've got Wanderers coming up ahead. The placeholder animations that we had in we're not really sort of like doing anything great for the game. So we've now got the female motion capture, walking animations, jogging animations. We've also changed out the sprinting animation, just so it just looks a bit more, a lot better. It doesn't look so robotic. We've also fixed a lot of issues with strafing, moving backwards, and we've got new crouch animations in. Before we only ever had the foot moving forwards crouch animation, but now there's animation for moving back, strafing left and right.
Turning on the spot.
Oh yes, and turning on the spot, so now the character will actually animate as they're turning on the spot with their shimmying their feet left and right. What else do we have? Is there anything else animation wise?
I mean, there's been quite. Yeah, I mean, it's basically just been a lot of animation changes on movement, most of which I think you summarised.
Yeah, we've sort of like there's a lot of fixes of stuff that we didn't realise were broken and stuff, but we've gone through and basically gone through every animation the character has for movement and totally sort of like cleaned it up, fixed it, and tweaked it.
I'm not sure anyone's interested in this, but we had some of the best bugs as a result of the animation change with Amy's legs when she was aiming.
Oh, the spazzy legs.
Yeah, they were all over the place. It was like, it was madness. All fixed now. It's pretty funny. But yes, I think the animation's looking great now, and I don't think there's any way you can move now where the animations don't match up to your direction of movement.
Yeah.
So that's good. I guess in a sort of similar vein as movement, we were taking a look at some movement speed stuff. I think that was just bug fixes really. There were some issues where like the player wasn't moving at the right speed in certain circumstances. You right there?
Yeah, I'm just testing out some of the focusy bits.
Yes.
Yes. Shall we talk about the reason I come into this shop? Oh, as you can see, the lighting in the shop before any lighting inside a building was quite flat, and it was quite a pale look to it. And now with the whole lighting change, the ambience inside buildings has changed so much.
It feels like the building is actually lit now.
Yes, and because you can just see how dark it's got now. So, turn on my flashlight here. You can see that just the atmosphere is just so much better. Obviously we've got a hell of a lot to do still, especially in these stores and that they're still a bit empty. Still just got like the basics. Oh, you can walk through this.
Ooh.
And that. Oh, that's new. Okay, let's make a note of that.
Yeah.
Is this the store where everyone was saying? Yeah, you can walk through the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Okay. I'll make a fix on that.
Ugh. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
You didn't mention when you did it earlier. You were using focus mode with the distorted camera angle. So for people that didn't know, you're searching an area and there are things on the floor or around you that you wouldn't necessarily spot. You can use focus mode to pay more attention to your surroundings.
Yeah. So,
Yes. Absolutely.
So at the moment it's very basic. It literally just shows icons of where items are on the floor. So if I go into this building here, I'll show you what I mean. So I go into here, and you can see there's little icons, and that means that in that vicinity there is something I can pick up. And there's another one. But at the moment it's very basic, and we will be extending on that a lot more, like we were talking about it at the beginning of the stream. That you'll be able to pick up on noises of where things are coming from, even visually see glows and stuff like that. So as your sort of skills progress and stuff like that, you'll be able to, the focus mode will do more and more.
Yeah. Hi, Cork. By the way, nice to meet you.
Yeah, welcome. We've seen you in the Discord.
Actually, you did something a moment ago, Ryan, which was new, which is, we did it a while ago now, but when the character goes to pick stuff up, the camera's no longer moving with the pickup. So
That's right, yeah.
It's a lot more smooth.
Was that a change, this patch or last patch?
It was this patch, it was like one of the first things we did, sort of, well, before the bank holiday. Yeah, sorry about the the patch last week. It's just what with bank holiday and so many busy things, it meant that there was less time than normal. So we put it back a week. But in actual fact, I think it was probably for the best, because the amount of stuff coming in this week's patch is pretty great, and it's given us plenty of time to make sure stuff's right. So some pretty hefty changes on the way. And patch is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just going because I can hear them screaming. I can't see them. So I was just going to sort of like show the new vicinity thing.
That's a good.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Henry's just said in the chat as well to take a look in first person. Might be good to have a look at that at some point, but yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that vicinity, sir.
So now what we've done, we introduced, because this patch has brought back the storage. So we've got again our next wave of our implementation of storage that we will show you later on. But at the same time, we thought we'd introduce a vicinity system where basically anything that when you're breaking containers open on the floor and stuff, because it's hard to miss stuff, and sometimes quicker to fix that.
Easy to miss stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all we do is just bring up the inventory, right?
So you just bring
That's
up
it, yep.
you just press tab to bring up your inventory, and you can either drag and drop what you want, or you can hit take all, and that will take everything in the vicinity.
So I mean, it's got a fairly limited range, but as you progress through levels, our plan is that you'll be able to, increase your vicinity a bit more. So it's kind of something you can level up if you like.
Yeah.
And we've already, in testing, we've been using it a lot. It turns out it's really useful.
Yeah. Let's go
Who knew?
let's just pop into this build and see, especially with sort of stuff that you can't sort of see. Like, So go into the room.
Love how that lightning reflects inside the building.
Let's see.
Yes, Henry.
Nice one, Henry.
Yeah,
Ryan.
can
Yeah.
the can openers. Yeah, I've only just. Where the hell am I? I just noticed I was on top of a shelf.
What have you done?
I don't know. I've noticed that the light. Did you do the light function on the torchlight?
I did, yes.
It's not showing up. That's weird.
Huh.
But
Okay.
not that we need it now because the
No, it still looks good.
the day is coming. But as you can see, that the whole lighting of everything is so much better.
Yeah. The reason I quite like it now is because every part of the day has like a very specific tone to it.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just like it became lighter and darker. It's now like it's being lit, and it actually has. It feels like the time of day has changed, not just the light.
I'll tell you one thing I forgot to do though. So if I stand next to this car,
I'm intrigued.
you can. Well, you're probably going to. I don't know if you've got the audio turned off.
Oh,
but-
can you? Is it rain?
The rain has not turned the rain of the car off.
Okay. Well, that's a cool new thing. Shame it's not working quite right, but yeah, we thought it'd be nice to have a bit of a when it rains. You know, you can really hear the rain in the environment. One thing I want
to sound onto it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but in fact, we've added a bunch of new sounds to kind of props in the world, just to kind of give them a bit more life. So you've got like rain on cars, you've got TVs to houses which have power, kind of like have the kind of white noise static. I think refrigerators.
Yeah.
Again, if they're kind of powered, you've got like a kind of electrical buzz. So just a few more things in the world, just have a bit more kind of bit more life. Something we're quite keen on, and the reason, in part for that, is because houses now have these new sort of new layouts. They've got like interiors and exteriors. There's a system which kind of is sort of like dynamically adds interiors and stuff to the houses. So now they kind of look like lived-in places with kind of furnishings, and there's the refrigerator. And they're not just shells anymore. They are places. And as we go through more patches, we're going to be adding more variants. We're going to be doing more kind of more setups, more props, and soon it'll get to a point where all the houses really do have their own feel, and they'll be really good to explore. I hadn't seen the flashing light before. That's very cool, Ryan.
Ryan, you also have to make sure at some point you showcase the most important update of the tape.
Tape.
Yes. I
Oh,
will.
the tape.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Oh snap! Was that a window you just busted?
Yep. So windows in houses have these have destructible windows, so you can shoot them out, and you shoot through them. You can shoot wanderers through them. There is now you've got now broken glass that has like physics and all sorts.
Which is something people have mentioned before, is that if you've got inside the house
mean?
to escape from wanderers, then you can't just shoot them out of the windows, which is what you'd do realistically. That sort of thing.
Yeah. It's actually quite handy, really, because you can kind of fortify your position and take wanderers out a bit more safely. And I haven't got my sound up, but also you'll be hearing new gun sound effects. Ryan's added a bunch of great new sounds which are all taken from actual recordings of those types of guns. So they're hopefully a lot less kind of. They sound a lot a lot more themselves. All the guns have a bit more personality now. You should be able to hear that as you shoot them.
Ryan was also saying about this the other day when he was showing this before, that it will mean that if you do choose to hide in a house at some point, this isn't in yet, this is a thing for the future, that zombies will also be able to, sorry, not zombies, they're not zombies, the Wanderers will also be able to break in through the windows and climb in, so you'll need to reinforce the windows with planks and things like that from the inside if you want to properly make something safe.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, again, this is just an idea that we were playing with, so that's all it is. But we today we were talking about some interesting ideas where we would like to have it so that maybe if you shoot a glass panel, that glass on the floor is now like a sort of an obstacle, and if you start walking through it, if you start like kind of trying to sneak through it, you're going to be making glass cracking sounds, and that's going to be a lot louder. So you might want to think twice about smashing windows to get in and out of places, because it's going to create a lot of noise and it'll become a problem.
I guess at some point we'll change it so that the stagger of the Wanderers, so if you shoot them from behind, that they stagger forward away from you.
Yes.
Rather than backs, but
Definitely.
as with everything, it's all in good time.
That is just an an animation thing at the moment. While Ryan takes care of business with a with a few careful headshots, I guess a few other things in the week. So we've addressed the vitals a bit more again. So just a few kind of basics. So we have reduced the energy decay a bit more slightly based on everyone's feedback. Again, I think it feels pretty good now. Be good to hear everyone's thoughts. Ooh. Oh, it happened.
I take it you had plenty of time to
Hang on a sec. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So perfect timing. Well, not perfect timing, but just timing all the same. We've added a new death count, so you can now regret all your decisions from above. Hey.
That should have.
So,
That's an interesting death animation scene. I like that.
Well,
Yeah.
It's going to have music in it by the time the patch goes live tomorrow.
Yes. Well, that's the plan anyway, or it will at least as soon as possible. Laurie, our composer, has been doing some death music to go alongside, just to really hammer home the mistakes you've made. So NG, the reductions happened a bit more, so see how that goes. But the biggest change on vitals that we've changed is we've added a new vital called stamina. We found from what people were saying that energy was a bit confusing, because energy is very much designed to be just how much food you've been taking. It's based in kilojoules. So as you eat food, you replenish how much literal energy you've got. But what people were perhaps expecting from energy was something more like stamina, which is how fast you can run for. How long you can run for, or how it relates to physical activity. So we have added stamina as a separate vital, which relates to energy.
Maybe I'll find
So
something
you now
useful.
have stamina, and you can still run for a fair way, but sooner or later you're going to get tired and you're going to have to sort of break into a jog or a walk. And if you stop, your stamina will regenerate pretty quickly. And if you your energy determines how much stamina you can have. So if you're on half energy, your maximum stamina is going to be half. If you're on 25% energy, your maximum stamina is 25%. So basically keep up your energy and you'll be able to run for longer. And hopefully by separating stamina and energy out into two things, it's going to make things a whole lot clearer as to how energy works and how actual physical movement and stamina works. And also we've added some new effects as well. So when you're running, as you get more tired and your stamina gets lower, you'll start to hear Amy panting and breathing heavier. And if you start hearing Amy breathing really heavily, it means you probably need to break into a jog for a bit. You can't keep up all the sprinting.
Cool. Cork, I'll come back to your comment in just a moment. We'll have a chat about that. Henry's just said, have you guys thought about when your vitals get down to 50% that they would pop up automatically?
We've talked we've talked quite a lot over weeks about really how we want to show this kind of stuff off. It's something we might do. If it's not clear enough, then that certainly indicates that we should do that. There are certain things, certain vitals which you will have notifications for, which are more like body things. So at some point where we talked about like bone breaking and what happens if you eat poisonous things, that sort of thing. Not something that your staff watch would necessarily tell you. That's just stuff that really hurts, so you would know. And that kind of stuff we would expect to pop up in some kind of UI element to tell you. But the question is, do we, we've been talking about, do we have these sorts of things on the display? Other vitals, do we have them displaying? We're still talking about it. If it's something you'd like to see, then it's good to know about.
Hello, Harrison.
Hi, good to see you.
So Cork's question was, what's with the first-person view? Every time in first person, I get the motion sickness factor because of the head shaking.
Yes, yeah. We, I think we've talked about how we do want to put in settings for the motion. At the moment, you're pretty much you are forced into experiencing all the motion, and I think I discussed this in the last live stream. But everyone's a bit different. Everyone interprets motion slightly differently. Some people, they're absolutely fine with having loads of motion going on the screen, and for some people it's not very comfortable, and that's fine. Everyone, like I say, everyone has like a different kind of amount that they're comfortable with, and that's a real indication that we should have sort of a setting to allow you to adjust how much head bob you want. So that's something we'll do. I'd actually be very interested to see how it affects first person, because a lot of the first person that we have, the first person animations and the third person animations are mostly the same. So I'd be interested to see to what extent the head bob changes when we put in the settings and see what's comfortable. But yes, it's something we want to do for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, just a few other odds and ends while Ryan's in the inventory there. We've made it so that the inventory camera shifts to the left when you open the inventory, so you can now see yourself in the space rather than being covered up by the inventory. And also, you now show your vitals by default when you're in the inventory, just to sort of help you out, as you're trying to figure out what to eat, what not to eat, all that kind of thing. So that's just hopefully a little handy addition. Let's have a look at the notes. There's been a couple of just sort of UI adjustments here and there. It's not big changes, but for example, stuff like we've adjusted the position, the prompts on the right, and several other things. Now that the vitals are on the staff watch, we're kind of evaluating how we want to use the space a bit more. So that's changed a little. Actually, just on the subject of vitals, we're conscious to address any missing UI element, things that need. For example, this patch we've temporarily removed weight display and temperature. The only reason just being that they're not working yet, and it's kind of confusing, especially if you're new to have vitals that don't actually quite work right. So they will be sorted. We're just taking them out to avoid any confusion for the time being. So that should make things a bit clearer.
I died again.
You did?
You need to get better at this game.
I do, don't I? I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, and he's practice more. Do you think maybe we could
just testing out the heights, like how far you can fall?
Yeah, that's it. Testing. Yeah, let's go with that. Do you think we could shut off the containers, Ryan?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, let me just go get the stuff back. Ooh, there's a fault.
Sure.
Did somebody say containers?
Storage,
Maybe.
storage crates, some fancy ones.
Henry, I like it when the Wanderers kill Ryan and then turn and walk away. Yeah, they're turning away in disgust at how bad he is at the game.
Yeah, we've been having some chats recently about what we want to do about the body and stuff. When you come back to your body, what should happen to your body? There is a fix we need to do with the player's ragdoll, because at the moment it's a bit kind of stiff. It doesn't quite look right. Just some other odds and ends, environment things. We've made some adjustments to some foliage. So some of the LODs, which means level of detail, which are kind of like the way in which you optimize foliage. We've done some tweaks because they were a little harsh on some of the bushes, and it kind of meant that you had this sort of thing where it looked like the bushes were kind of popping as you got close. So we've adjusted that. GT, hello. Good to see you. Oh, we also need to show off the tape.
Yes, well.
Very important.
Welcome to the show.
Everything can be broken down as well. There's a slight delay in video here from what we're talking about, but Ryan was a moment ago in his inventory. Any materials or items that you can find can be recycled into stuff that you can use. So we've said this before, but for those that haven't heard it, pretty much, in fact, everything that you can find and pick up in the game has a purpose. It's always slightly frustrating in games to find things you think you should be able to use and you can't. So everything you find, in one way or another. Question from GT: when will you show us the skins, the tactical resistance, and the other ones? Or the other one, Valkyrie one?
I know the answer to that is soon. I wouldn't like to give the wrong information about that. I don't know how. That might be a question more. Maybe Ryan might be able to help answer.
Yeah, it's probably a Ryan question. Although I would say that it's one of those things that we want to get to, but like with everything else, there's so much to do all the time that we have to prioritise stuff. But sorry, Ryan, what were you going to say?
I was going to actually say, yeah, we're going to be actually releasing proper visuals of stuff like that between now and the next patch. So between this patch coming Friday and the 2.6 patch, because for the next patch we are actually working on programming in DLCs. So basically we'll start releasing all the skin packs and start releasing one by one the protagonists, and some of the guys and girls that purchased on Kickstarter will actually get access to the protagonists. Some of the protagonists a lot earlier than everyone else, so that is all coming up in the next sort of few patches.
Yeah, soon.
Cork said, do we get an option to change the Zed Speed like 7 Days to Die, walking in the day and running in the night, or do you prefer the World War zombies?
There's no option at the moment for that, although we do have plans where certain environmental factors are going to affect their behaviour and how they move and all that kind of thing. So they're not going to just be necessarily running all the time in the future. This is kind of like their kind of default state, I suppose. But yeah, there are certain maybe weather conditions and times of day and that kind of thing which are going to play into their aggressiveness and what they do. So I don't know about options particularly because we've got those plans, but yeah, but it's not you're not necessarily going to be always facing them running.
I can't drop anything. What's going on here then?
Uh-huh.
Upgrade
Can
required.
you consume them?
An upgrade. Cigarettes
You
required.
gotta upgrade.
I've got an upgrade for lungs.
Cigars.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few bugs. But that's probably due to all the new logic in for the containers and pickup.
Yeah, we spend quite a lot of time for Cindy stuff, but then it's also we spend a bit of time weeding out issues. So hopefully there's nothing too problematic. But yeah, we're on the hunt for any other issues that might have popped up because of that.
So,
Aha.
so Ryan's about to showcase you the thing that he seems to be happiest about in the most recent updates, which is what happens when you walk through a piece of police tape and the sound it makes.
Ta-da!
Round of applause.
Ta-da!
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da!
Nothing wrong.
It is brilliant. The tape is affected by wind, and of course, if the player walks through it, it's it's kind of dynamic.
You know, to be honest, I joke about it because it seems minor, but actually those little touches do make a huge difference to how a game feels. So it is important.
Definitely. Although I made the point earlier that like once you break one, you have to.
Oh, too bloody right.
I believe you can shoot them as well, can you?
Oh, yeah. I should have done that.
Broken them all now.
Yeah,
Oh, we're gonna have to restart. Oh, there's this one.
Where?
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
My
we have the delay.
stream was a bit behind, and
Yeah,
I saw that last one.
Yeah.
And then you ran into it.
Yeah.
Right, let's build some storage.
Yes.
Good call. Cork, we do have fun. It is busy, and Ryan and Scrub in particular are constantly working way beyond 9 to 5, but it is fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's important to enjoy what we do. I think. And
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
I suppose that's... We're all gamers, that's part of the reason that we wanted to do all this stuff in the first place. Yeah, we like to play. Sorry, Ryan, you're going to say something.
No, that's alright. That's just... Ooh. Right, so... excuse me. 3 types of storage added to the game. So you have small storage, which will give you 7 slots. You have large storage. Let me just stop the character here. That will give you 14 slots, and then you can build one of these fine, nifty shelving units that will actually give you 2 large storage and 3 small ones, and they are all individual. And how you do this is you just literally press your F on them, and it will open up your inventory, and then you can store your shoes. You can have a little shoe collection. And what we're going to be eventually doing with these is you will be able to set the skins for them. So if you wanted this one, for instance, to have ammo written on it, then you'll be able to select it. As you can see, they're highlighting when I go over them. And you'll be able to select a skin for ammo or weapons or anything like that. Yeah, it will eventually start showing stuff on the shelves as well. We'll have one where you can actually see everything on the shelves. But for now, we just put in these standard little things that you can
can use. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they're handy. They are saving and loading. That's good. You can delete them too, although just be careful if you do delete them, if you've got stuff in them, for obvious reasons.
So
But what happens? Does the stuff disappear if you do that at the moment?
yeah, you'll lose
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
That's
The items are bound to the things.
Okay.
We're probably going to have like a warning or something in the near future if you do have it and they try to delete them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
With the original cupboards are going to be making a comeback. They're going to use a similar sort of thing, but like Ryan was talking about, where you can see items on the thing. We're going to be keeping that kind of like physical item storage thing where you put down items, you'll be able to see them on the shelving or on the cupboards or whatever. But they will also still use the UI, so it's quite handy for actually just being able to quickly do things.
With the I didn't ask you guys about this before. With the implementation of storage now, does that mean that people will be starting off with fewer items in their inventory?
Yes, I was actually a bit confused on this. I didn't realise just how much we'd removed from the last patch. So I was a bit surprised when Ryan showed me just how little the player starts with currently. But yes, we're definitely cutting back. So you'll be encouraged to go out and get resources yourself now.
Yeah, literally now all you start with is some water, and some meat, and a few essentials. You don't start with half what you did start with.
Because all the fundamentals are there now. You'll be able to get what you need to build, be able to cook food, and find water. So, yeah.
Inky mushroom. I don't know if I was supposed to eat that.
Yeah, no, I can't remember either.
Assuming it's alright, we'll restore 5 health, 5 health, 5 hunger. Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah, you're safe.
I'm safe.
Were mushrooms last patch or this patch? I can't remember if we did it at the start of before Easter or.
I can't remember.
I didn't spot them when I
Can
played
somebody
last
please
week.
tell us? Did we add mushrooms or not?
We zoom out into third person if we're just supposed to, but she's got no head.
Oh.
So
That seems.
I hope
all
you're
right.
making notes.
I have no problem with this at all.
But as you can see by when I was saying about the lighting, is that everything is, yeah, even though we were like sort of into daytime and stuff like that, because it's like overcast with shadowed by trees and stuff like that, the lighting is so different. And in the distance, if you notice, there's like a reddish tinge to the distance, and this sort of gradient of color will this sort of like changes color with the time of day and stuff like that, and it's just all sort of like start to add to the atmosphere kind of thing.
Henry does confirm that mushrooms were in the last patch.
They were right, good. It's not just us going crazy.
Henry says you guys also need to put flint and needle plant. I think they don't show in your inventory.
Flint and what?
Flint and needle.
Flint and needle?
I know when you pick up a piece of flint, like that's possible to find in game.
Yeah.
Oh, but
So I understand that one right off the bat.
We'll have to take a look.
Right. Is there anything else that we need to go over?
I think we've been over all the big ones. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of odds and ends, bug fixes, stuff that gets reset properly when you die now, and tons of odds and ends. But but this week it's really been lighting overhaul, containers, and I'm missing another big one. Tape.
Yes,
Really big update. The big three.
the tape.
Oh, it's houses, housing interiors. We've done work on as well.
Yeah, so that the houses are all like randomized, and at the moment they only there's only sort of like a single interior, and there's some stuff that spawns on both the rear and front front porch, and different style doors and barricades on the windows. So the back door can be barricaded. But what we're going to do as time goes on is we're going to add more and more to it every single patch that we release. So in the next patch,
Sorry, that's my dog.
we will add an additional sort of variation of stuff upstairs and downstairs and on the porches and stuff like that. So eventually we've got a really nice collection that can randomly be just completely random onto what house that you go in, and eventually every single house will be like that. And then when you get round to being able to actually claim these houses, you can actually what will happen is all that stuff that's in there will break down into resources, and you'll get, so you can choose to actually empty the house out and break everything down into resources that you can use to upgrade the building or build defenses for the buildings and stuff like that. Yeah, that's me done.
Well, we've got stuck on another 15 minutes, so any questions? Welcome. Or any interesting facts? Always up for some.
About three-eyed snakes.
Yeah, about honestly anything.
Just as you were saying, we've got 15 minutes left. I didn't realise I was muted. I said it at exactly the spot on the same time as you said. We've got about 15 minutes left.
Oh, no way. So in sync.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that we can go over is that we're already looking into sort of introducing crafting bow and arrows and bow actions. So it will make firearms a lot more rare, and that you'll actually have to craft or find compound bows and bow and arrows and explosive arrows, and then we're going to introduce sort of like the melee fighting with baseball bats and machetes and stuff like that. So this is we've already started looking into stuff like this, so it should be coming fairly soon to before some of the patches that are coming up.
It's worth noting while you're by the ambulances, we're starting to think about introducing little narratives into the world. So like little places where you've got like ambulances and crash cars, just odds and ends, sort of like events that have happened, and you can see the evidence of that. And the plan is that they're all going to be sort of stories that you can investigate one way or another, and just sort of find out a little bit about the world. Or they're all going to be a little bit of, they're all going to be sort of meaningful. In a way.
It's something that you'll be able to use to, if you can follow one of the narratives, like you like this crash site, for instance. We've already got a huge list from that. Very gratefully, one of our story artists, Paul, has written for us that we're going to be scattering all over the island. But for instance, this crash site here is you could say use your focus mode to look for clues and stuff like that, and you might find a piece of paper with an address on or something. Then you can go to that place, and you'll be able to follow these around the island, and then eventually, have like some kind of special outfit or a special weapon or a vehicle or some kind of item or something like that, and it will also unlock lore about the world and what actually happened at this situation. What actually happened here and what happened to the person in the car and stuff like that.
In other news, just
Yes.
just a bit of exclusive. Yeah, I suppose it is exclusive. Just a bit of exciting. We're going to be something special tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Something very just
Oh.
keep an eye out, folks. Keep them eyes peeled.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
yeah, is there any other questions? Anyone?
Yeah, I got one. Will we see more dead body meshes like this one we're seeing?
So yeah, the same as the world narratives start coming in, and we start adding more story elements and that. You'll start seeing more bodies and body bags and things like that actually turn up. But you also there'll start being some of these kind of narratives inside the buildings as well, inside the houses. So you might come across one of the houses that's got a body sitting at a table, or sitting at a chair, or laying in a bed, or something like that. But yeah, again, as we sort of like get more of the mechanics in, we can start introducing more and more narratives and story elements.
Makes sense. Awesome.
Just a small observation whilst you were looking around there, Ryan.
Yep.
I wonder if the sort of glints of light that are coming off of various things, I wonder if they could do it being a bit more muted. It almost looks like they're
Sparkles.
sparkling. And I know it's the reflection of the light, but I just wonder if it's...
Well, like these. Oop.
It was coming off of... When you were crouching in the bushes, I know there's a slight delay in the... yes, you can see them on the body now. It's quite sparkly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's like kind of speculative, but it's odd how it's moving around so much.
Hmm.
I wonder what that's about. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it, did you say?
Yeah. Dead body.
It's unhygienic.
What the? But yeah, there's lots of tweaks and stuff that we have to, we need to make and stuff like that. But
GT says it's a vampire body.
it's a vampire body, yeah. But you don't know. It might be. It might even have been an infected or something.
Infected vampire.
You don't know. Infected vampire.
There's no vampires in this game.
Vampires confirmed.
Oh, I got another question. Will they be able to break glass like on vehicles later on?
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. We're starting small. Everything.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because stuff like breaking the windows in a building can have effect on performance, because it's a movable object that you're putting into the world. It's an object with physics, so it can actually. So what we'll do is, we add little things that, oh, hang on, this may have affect performance. So we'll just add small amounts of it until people say, yeah, it's not really affected any performance. We're not having any performance issues with it, and then we can start moving on to more. So at the moment,
Yeah, because we don't want it to overwhelm the player's overall experience, where they're just like, I'm stuck again.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But we were also talking. Let me see if I can run back to a house quickly. What was it? We were also talking about the kind of things that we want to do with houses, where that will be like a lead on from the breaking the glass and stuff, because we're not going to just want to put them there so you can shoot them out with your firearm. It's that there's got to be a reason for everything, and the reason, the main reason that we wanted to put them in is because when you're being chased by the infected, by the Wanderers, we want to make it so these guys at the moment they just spaz out at the door, trying to get at you, but they're not going to do that. They're going to actually try and get to you, and to try and get to you, they're going to actually know that they're probably going to be able to get to you through the windows, especially if they're not barricaded. So you can just imagine running into one of the houses and being chased by wanderers, and then suddenly you just hear all this glass smashing and stuff like that because they're trying to come through the windows at you. And the thing is, if there's no barricades up, if they smash the windows, they're going to be able to try and climb. They're going to be able to climb through the windows. I'm getting totally lost.
I really like the idea of Wanderer just like...
Can't wait for AI V3, yo.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I can't wait for... I think it'd be great to have like Wanderers just sort of torpedoing headfirst through windows. I mean, I just really like that idea.
But vice versa as well, is that you'll be able to jump out of windows. Very much, you'll be able to, as long as you're not sort of like Amy is at the moment, just in a vest top, because you'll end up cutting yourself to smithereens and causing a lot of damage. But that's where different clothing will come into effect. So if you do want to jump through a window, then you will be able to barge your way through the window to escape a firefight with other players or with NPCs.
What is the best clothing option for glass?
Probably a thick jacket.
It's gonna be like leather or something.
And a helmet. Oh god.
Oh wait, right. No Game of Thrones. No, I'm sorry. I haven't seen it. Just hold on. Don't do this to me.
No.
Important question from Corkin. What do you think about the new Sonic and the new Sonic trailer?
Excellent question. I've warmed to it, honestly.
Have you?
It's not great, but was it ever gonna be good?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I watched the trailer and I hated it, and then a friend watched it and he just started laughing, and then I started laughing. I was like, actually, when you look at it again, it's kind of, if you go in with no expectations, it's I don't know.
I suppose. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I suppose if you got no expectations, I was a bit offended because the first. So when I was, how was I? Must have been 6 or 7. The first console I ever owned was a Mega Drive, and it was the most amazing thing that had ever happened in my entire life that we got a Mega Drive, because it was not the sort of thing that my family usually did. So we got this Mega Drive and played Sonic the Hedgehog, and I thought it was amazing, and I was so into Sonic when I was younger. I bought the comics and stuff, and so I was a huge Sonic fan. So yeah, looking at his weirdly 3D odd
It's just
face.
I saw that trailer too.
Yeah, it's
killing
weird.
a bit of my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if they can jump through windows and enter a house, can we?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, you'll be able to vault through the window.
That's what we were saying. Yeah, and also that's why I was sort of main reason I was gonna cut out that one. Just happened to have barricades on it. But...
All I gotta say is when that AI V3 comes around, hold on to your butt.
For sure.
So as you can see with this window here, you're not going to be able to vault through it because there's obviously a barricade there. The barricades will eventually have sort of like some kind of health. That's got barricades as well. I will find one without barricades in it.
I'm sure like 99% of them don't have barricades. You just sound.
Here's a quick question about zombie apocalypse in real life. I've always kind of wondered, because it's zombies, whether you would barricade... Well, I mean, the obvious answer to this is both of the options I'm about to suggest. Would you barricade your windows from the inside of the house or the outside of the house? Because if they were on the outside of the house, the zombies could pull them off, but wouldn't be able to push them through. But if you barricaded on the inside of the house, they may push them off the walls.
That's really good. It's a good question.
Which would be better? If you could only barricade one side of the... I'd do both too, just to be on the safe side, but... If
Outside,
you have time to
because
do
you'd
that.
be able to protect the glass itself, so you don't have to worry about replacing that.
That's true. Yeah, no, for sure, if you're trying to protect the glass.
So you barricade them from the outside as well.
I think both, but yeah, I just
Right,
if you
nothing
only had time
close
to do
as well.
one, I think I'd go for the outside.
There was I haven't there was a Walking Dead picture that I saw where it suddenly made me think. It was a picture of a wall, and it just got me thinking, because the way in which they had supported the wall was kind of from the same side that the zombies were coming from. So why would you do that? Wouldn't you have the supports on the inside of the wall so that when they're pushing up against the wall, it's...
Yeah, the Walking Dead did that, didn't they?
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, I was talking about a screenshot that I saw from I think when you shared with me.
I reckon that if you had, you'd want it like an upside down capital T, so that it would support it from the inside. But also, if you had it as a flat platform that they stood on the outside, so if they came up to the wall and they tried to push it over, it wouldn't work because their weight would be on the platform behind the wall, stopping it from tipping. But you'd want it supported from the outside as well, wouldn't you? From the inside as well.
You want it from the inside because them pushing on it alone, whether their weight's on the board or not, on the outside, you're going to want it behind because them pushing on the wall can still knock it over, and if you get enough of them leaning up against the wall, you could teeter it over.
But if you had it so that say you're looking at the wall from the inside of your back of your place that you've been safe, and the wall is tilted slightly away from you, and on the other side of the wall, there's a platform at the bottom. So if the zombies are stood on the platform at the bottom and they're pushing it, the centre of gravity is never going to be able to be in a way that would allow the wall to fall over. They wouldn't be able
It's a
to
bit like
push it over.
it's a bit like trying to pick yourself up by your own hair. You just
Exactly. Yes, they wouldn't. There'd be when they were pushing on the wall, they'd also be pushing down on the. So there'd be no way of it tipping over. But
that's pretty smart. I like that. That's good thinking.
it'd be difficult to construct, though, wouldn't it? But I wonder if that's the only way that I could think it would make sense to support it from the outside in The Walking Dead. If it was attached to a platform that the zombies were standing. We'll see.
But like I was saying, if it's like these doors and windows, is you can see that your character will be able to get through there. So we're also going to be adding animations in sort of very soon that you'll be able to just step through there because there's a hole. So you'll actually just be able to step through if the window's been blown
interesting.
through.
Yeah.
Nice to be able to put a like a jumper or a coat over it or something as well, so you don't scratch yourself. Welcome to Matt, by the way.
Hi, Matt.
So dark. Oh yeah, you must admit we were talking a lot about the lighting in the beginning. It's been reworked so that the dark is darker and more atmospheric, and the light is more lighter, and so you constantly have different atmospheres depending on the time of day. Matt said it looks amazing. Ryan, thank you.
Very much.
Guns jammed.
Ah!
No, guns jammed.
And Gunslinger says, "Is this game in Blueprints or in C++?"
Both.
Yeah,
Both.
yeah. There are certain things that you can only really do in C++, and Blueprint's also a pretty convenient way to sort of put stuff together.
And Cork said the zom sound is crazy.
Good.
That was a fairly recent addition, the new voices for the zombies.
Yeah, I kind of have a philosophy that like if you don't feel slightly uncomfortable listening to it, then it's not quite right. Just a little bit of discomfort.
I can't wait to check that out because meanwhile the devs and mods we all have YouTube muted so that we can still hear ourselves.
Speak for yourself. I'm a retard. I listen to both.
Nice.
Madness.
Thank God for that variety.
Clipping through the
Hey.
fence.
Well, we've hit 9:30, so I guess technically we've ended the stream.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
unless anybody has more questions or anything they'd like to see,
Damn it.
call it a
Gun
night.
jammed.
Or do we want to talk about our new where we're at with platforms
Yes.
before we finish?
Yeah, it might be worth explaining the thing with the Abyss and Robot Cache and stuff like that. So yeah, we're obviously releasing on multiple platforms, and I think people are worried about that they're not going to get it on Steam or something like that. But the way it works is we have no choice to release on Steam at the same time as other platforms because that's in a contract with them. But we are not advertising that it'll be available on Steam. So as soon as it comes, you can actually buy it and download it off of the Abyss and Robot Cache. You will also be able to buy it and download it directly from Steam as well. But our store page will not show in searches or be listed anywhere. The only way you'll be able to get to it is via the actual direct link to Steam. But apart from that, yes, we're releasing also on the Abyss, which is a new platform like Steam. We'll also be releasing in June with Robot Cache, which is also a new platform where you can actually, once you finish playing the game, you can actually resell it. So you can trade in, like you used to be able to do in the good old days of non-digital download.
I don't know why you'd ever want to resell Jaws of Extinction.
No, but yeah.
You can trade something else for Jaws of Extinction.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that's on the Abyss platform, correct?
no, that's not on the Abyss. With the Abyss, you can actually you get referrals. So you will be able to, with the Abyss, it's a referral system. So if you bought Jaws of Extinction, you could then get a link to Jaws of Extinction on the Abyss and actually give that to your friends, and then what you would do, if they buy Jaws of Extinction, you will actually earn a percentage of that purchase, and it'll go 5 levels deep. So if they then give that link to their friends, or if they generate a link after purchasing it and they give it to their friends, you will still earn, you will keep earning 5 levels deep. So that's the Abyss, and you also earn credits, and they do massive sales at the moment. So you'll be able to if you purchased Abyss credits, you can actually get Jaws of Extinction for only $12, which is 70% off the retail price that we will be going live on Steam with. And you can actually pre-order it at the moment for 40% off. It's still slightly cheaper pre-ordering it on Steam on our website, but yeah, you can actually depends, and it'll be the same with and with Robot Cache. With Robot Cache, you can actually resell the game. So any platform, say you've played, completed, or you don't want to play anymore, you can actually then resell that, put that available back on the market and get some of your money back.
Yeah, that's a really good summary. I mean, the real short of it is you can pretty much get the game wherever you want now, whether it be through Steam or the other platform, wherever works for you.
Yeah.
Also, one more question. For the people that won from giveaways, will they be able to access Steam or whatever?
We'll be going live actually on Steam at the same time that we'll be going live with the Abyss and stuff like that. At the moment, Abyss is just pre-orders, but as soon as we go live on all these other platforms, it will go live on Steam. And if you won in a giveaway, then yes, your key will then be activated. As soon as we go live on Steam, your key will be activated and you'll be able to download and play it. But one other thing that we're also doing, because we're not doing this on different platforms, because they are different, and there's different ways that of us sort of like giving back to people that are actually playing the game as well. And one other thing we're doing is we're actually recently partnering. Can we talk about this? I don't know if we can or not.
I don't know. So I mean, it'll be. I mean, as soon as we know we can, then we should. But
yeah. So anyway, we're partnering with another company to help people that will end up want to run servers of their own when Jaws of Extinction goes multiplayer. We're actually partnering with another company that will help you earn and give rewards out to people that play on your server. So yeah, it's what our way of giving back to the community again. So yeah.
The last 2 weeks, the number of meetings we have had,
Oh, crazy!
yeah, it's been
Absolutely
madness.
crazy.
But it's been good busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of interesting people. So.
Yeah. Indeed. Quick question. Sorry, totally aside from that. Corkins just said, "I see we get rubber trees. Are some of the trees rubber trees, Ryan?"
No, I don't believe so. There's shagbark, river birch, pine, oak. We are actually adding some more different species up that once they go up into the mountains. So we're going to try and make areas species orientated. So marshlands will have specific trees for the marshlands as well as different mushrooms. And as you go up into the mountains, you'll have different species of foliage and that. But at the moment, yeah, it's just river birch, shagbark. It's a type of oak, pine trees, obviously, and there is one other, but I don't know. I think they're rubber trees. These ones here are actually river birch. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea what a rubber tree was. I just looked it up.
Yeah, me either.
It would be fun to be able to tap a tree to get some rubber out. It might be a bit, maybe not the top of our list of priorities of things to do.
Yeah, I think there's more that you have to do than actually to make rubber than just chop down a tree. I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us a bit over time, I suppose.
Tree bounce.
Oh, the tree bouncing. I see. Right. Okay.
There's the tree bounce.
It's blowing in the wind.
I've seen him like bend really hard in stormy weather.
Yeah, they're all.
Oh yeah, they
they're
can do sometimes.
They're all affected by all the foliage is affected by the weather.
Indeed. Yeah. And then perhaps at some point we'll have it so that they blow down and crush you to death if it's too windy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Just had Aces High join us in the chat. He's one of our moderators. If you play the game and you hear Sheriff Sen over the radio, he's the chap that does the voice of Sheriff Sen.
Yeah, cracking work. It sounds great.
Right, should we call it a night?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, great to see everyone.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoy the new patch.
And
Yes, thank you all for coming out today.
Yeah, patch is out tomorrow. Obviously, some of the bugs that you've seen tonight in tonight's stream, hopefully will be fixed in the patch as well.
Yeah, it's nothing major that
No.
I picked up on, so it should all be good.
Fab. All right.
Catch you later,
Thank you
folks.
very much, guys. Yeah.